Hi and good evening. My name's Rusty G. I hope everyone is doing well. It is Wednesday, December the 13th. For those of you that know me, I have been blasting your social medias with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all sorts of everything. If you know anything about me, it's actually been kind of crazy the last few months or so, and I hope that you're doing well. We're actually here tonight to talk about cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, and kind of, get some general chat from some of our viewers, hopefully. We're going to be trying to answer some questions like, who are we, first of all? I'll do introductions here momentarily. What is Bitcoin? What is Coinbase? What other coins are out there besides Bitcoin? And things like, have you heard of mining, or do you trade on anything, or what's the future, and what are these videos, and what's going to happen? Right now, to be completely honest with you, one of my hosts is running behind. He is on his way, and we'll jump into the video here shortly. Cory, and I'm going to beat him for this later, but that's fine. Shane Carter has joined me, and we'll get started without him. So, Shane, you and I actually just recently started talking about Bitcoin and everything, and Cory kind of got me invested, and I started with a $25 fee thing, or purchase of Bitcoin that I apparently got refunded on, didn't realize it, and I could have had $1,000, which really irritates me. But tell us who you are, Shane, and what you got going on, and hopefully in the next few minutes we'll get Cory on.
Well, so yeah, you're right. We have just started chatting and everything, and it's interesting to see the different perspectives. I know you're focused a little more on mining, whereas I'm a little more about trading and setting up some passive income and getting some money coming in that I don't really have to work for, like I do with trading and watching charts all day long. Fortunately for me, I have some pretty good friends who were watching crypto way before I was, and they were dragging me along, dropping little nuggets in the bank, just letting me know, like, hey, you should be watching out for this. You should keep your eye on this, because it's gonna explode, and you're probably gonna want to be involved. Unfortunately, I took a little time after graduating from school to live my life rather than jumping into crypto like I should have, or like I should have jumped into crypto right away, because it's always about making money. But it is what it is. I'm here. I'm learning. So for me personally, I do trade. I have some long-term trades set up. I'm holding Bitcoin. I'm in a couple of ICOs. I've got some passive income coming in from lending networks, lending platforms, and I haven't gotten into mining because I personally don't see the benefit in it for me. I don't have the hardware to do it. I pay a lot for electricity, and it's just not as functional. And the next person who's going to come in will be Cory. Cory was actually one of the people who introduced me to Bitcoin probably 3-4 years ago, whenever we were playing Ingress together in Clemson. I should have followed along. I should have started buying in, because back then it was really, really cheap, but I was really, really poor, and I wasn't going to spend money on Bitcoin back then. So, but here we are today. I mean, I've made a little bit of money. I've got more money coming in. I'm waiting on trades to develop. I'm enjoying it.
So let's talk about that. So real quick, we're doing this video because we enjoy cryptocurrency. We enjoy Bitcoin. We enjoy all of this. As a matter of fact, that's actually how I met Cory just as well, was through Ingress. We got to playing Ingress. I think he actually stayed at my house one night whenever Nashville, Tennessee actually had an event, which is kind of funny. So it's kind of interesting to hear how Ingress connected people. So why exactly are we making these videos? What's the purpose? We enjoy Bitcoin. We think it's awesome. What do you think our purpose is in making these videos?
So my purpose in all of this is to find other like-minded thinking people who will want to be involved in a community and who want to grow and learn like I want to. Personally, I was an engineering major, and numbers excite me. It shouldn't be as fun as it is, but I enjoy the numbers. I enjoy the idea of starting with something small and growing it to something large, and that's what I'm doing with crypto. I personally like helping people. The more of my information that I can share with people, the more I learn and reaffirm my learning of all of this stuff. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know all the tax laws and everything like that. I don't know what's going to happen in the markets. I can't predict things. I'm going to be wrong. But the idea is that we can grow as a community and help recognize trends and recognize patterns and communicate and share ideas. That's kind of my view on it.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great way to get started. We want to share the knowledge. We want to share the information. You, myself, and Cory, we're in a chat group. Personally, the three of us, we're in a chat group in Google Hangouts where we talk about this stuff every single day. We try to have information that we can share, links, news, bits of information, stuff like that, so that it's, pieces of information that we may have or know or is helpful. Again, I have to reiterate what Shane just said. We are not financial advisors by any means. We are just people that are very highly interested in something, and most financial people will always tell you this. This is high risk and high gain, so don't be a part of it right away. You should wait until it balances out, or Bitcoin's a bubble, or insert any other old white man talk who wants to give us some sort of label. So that's actually kind of interesting, to say the least. And with that, I just saw our buddy Cory jump in. And after Cory does his introduction, I'm going to do something we do at work called icebreakers. I actually kind of enjoy it. And for those of you that are watching from the lift side, you'll know what icebreakers are. And if you are just a general person who knows anything about icebreakers, we know what those are. So, Cory, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing this evening? Tell us your name, obviously, if you feel to share, and why are we doing this video, and what do you want to do with the video?
Yeah, sorry. I just got off of work, so I got here as fast as I could. Hopefully I won't have to do that much of currency I've been earning. So, how's everybody doing? I guess y'all probably that.
Yeah, we're doing well. Shane actually just answered very well on the question. And you probably aren't looking at the run sheet just yet. I'm going to kind of fill the time real quick so that you can. So what do you think your purpose in joining on this video and doing live hangouts, going straight to YouTube live? What do you think your purpose is for making these videos that we're going to be doing?
I just want people to understand it so they don't get in here and start losing money. And then if they start losing money, try to blame me and, try to make sure it's not a scam, because like if it was a scam, it would have went away a long time ago. Because I mean, we're already like I've been doing this since 2014, like messing around with different kind of cryptos and stuff, and it's exciting,
Yeah, I have to tell a quick story about Cory and I. So, again, Cory and I and Shane, obviously, we've all met through Ingress. But about 2 years ago, Cory spun me on this whole Bitcoin idea and was like, hey, do this, do that, do whatever. And he gave me like, what was it, 0.1 Bitcoin or something like that, Cory?
I don't think it was 0.1. It was like maybe 0.01 or something like it. It was $1 worth or something.
Yeah, so you gave me like $1 worth of Bitcoin or whatever, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, thanks. Back then, I think it was called Coin Tip or Change Tip or something like that. And
Change Tip.
Yeah, so Change Tip, and what happened was that $1 turned into $25 in about 2 years' time due to the price of Bitcoin, and so that's actually kind of what got me started all over again. Was I wanted to check, because I started hearing the news again about Bitcoin and more people talking about it and hearing the prices. So I started all over again, and that's, again, I'll repeat it one more time. I had apparently deposited $25 worth of Bitcoin, but it got reversed for some odd reason. I'm really fighting myself for that one now, because that $25 worth that I would have purchased would be well over $1,000 worth now if I had done absolutely nothing with it. So I think that's fairly interesting. So, for all the general people not the people that are watching this video and already know what Bitcoin is, thank you for those of you that are watching. Do remember we have live chat here on the side, I think it is. You can ask questions live if you would like, or if you're watching this video after the fact, feel free to leave questions here on the side. But we want to answer the question, what is Bitcoin? And Shane and I were talking beforehand, and we have voted Cory, since you came in late, number one, and number two, we think you're going to have the best definition of what is Bitcoin. So go ahead and get us started, Cory.
All right, so it's a coin that some guy came up with a long time ago. It was like back in 2009, I think. It was on some cryptography website, and they just decided, he was like, "Hey, why don't we come up with this coin? Here's my idea." Nobody really knows who he is, but he goes by Satoshi Nakamoto. Basically, what Bitcoin is it's just these little made up coins, and that there's these blocks that are processed. And whenever one of those blocks gets processed, then there's 25 Bitcoins released. Now, there's not going to be 25 released by next summer. You're actually going to have like 12 and a half released each time a block has come up. And that's called the halvening. So that's coming up next summer. So, get your Bitcoins now, because it's going to start slowing down on how many Bitcoins come out. Did you guys know that?
About the halvening? Yes, absolutely. There's a website dedicated specifically for that, and it's actually been happening since the inception of Bitcoin. We've actually had, because I think you're right, it started out at 50, it came down to 25, and now it's at 12 and a half, and so we're going to see it drop down even again next summer, I think, I forget how many days it is.
Yeah, and the reason they do that is to counteract inflation, because with the U.S. dollar, you can just print more and more. Point is, there's only ever going to be 21 million ever created. Right now, we're over 16 million, still under 17 million. I don't know the exact number, but
16.7.
Okay, 16.7. So, I mean, it's going to be harder and harder just to hold one Bitcoin. I mean, if everybody in the world wanted one Bitcoin, they can't do it. It's impossible.
So, all right. So Cory gave us the mathematical, the hard stuff in the background for those of you that are the engineering side. I think I have an easier answer to what is Bitcoin, but Shane, do you think maybe you might be able to help us out with what Bitcoin is?
Well, to kind of add on what Cory was saying with Bitcoin, there is a finite amount. So there's right now we're at 16.7 million, and the max supply is 21 million. I'm looking at the coin market cap right now, and it's showing that the actual market cap is 272 billion right now. Now, if you look at J.P. Morgan, for example, the last I checked, J.P. Morgan was only around 97 billion, excuse me. So if anyone thinks that Bitcoin's going away anytime soon, I would encourage you to take a look at CoinMarketCap and think again.
Yeah, and this past Monday, actually, just a few days ago, the New York Stock Exchange just did the CE on that. Is that correct?
Yep. They started trading what's called Bitcoin futures. It basically allows people in the stock market to bet on the price of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's going to do. It basically gives them another way to leverage their money.
Okay, so cool. So definitely, as John McAfee, the guy behind McAfee Security, antivirus, and all that stuff, says, Bitcoin is not a bubble. It is definitely not a bubble. And it's kind of funny when I see those out there. I like to laugh at those. So moving outside of what Bitcoin is, I think we have a general understanding. If you have a question, again, feel free right here on the side, leave comments, questions if you don't think that we explained it well enough or whatever. We're going to move on to the next thing. So how do we get into Bitcoin? What's a good way to get started into Bitcoin? What's something, if I am a person watching this video and I'm interested in Bitcoin and I want to know what it is, I want to jump in and I want to get started. Cory apparently fell off. I don't know. Maybe he had bad internet. Hopefully he jumps back in here in a moment. But Shane, what's a way that we can jump in and get in on Bitcoin?
Well, the first way of doing it or the easiest way of doing it is using Coinbase. Coinbase it's basically an online bank that allows you to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I was actually going to show my Coinbase, but I've got some personal information on that I think would be a good idea to show, account numbers and stuff. So I'm going to hold off on that. Next time we have a video, I will have a blank account open to where people can see what's going on. But basically what it does is it allows you to link a debit card or a credit card and your account. And each piece of information that you give Coinbase, it gives them another way to identify you. It basically allows them to confirm that you are who you say you are. And when you're using dashboard or using Coinbase, you can see You can see the graphs of what Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin is doing. You can see the price. You can see the hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly. What basically gives you a very, very general chart so you can see what Bitcoin is doing. Basically, if you were look at a stock market or a stock chart right now, it would look similar to that. Not very technical, but it gets the job done. Now, once you link all of your information and sign up, they're going to allow you to buy Bitcoin. If you're using a bank account, like not a credit card or a debit card, but your actual bank account, they're going to put a small hold on your account to give them time to process the funds. If you use your debit card or a credit card, it's going to be instantaneously. But there are limits to what you can buy with a debit card or a credit card. So you'll just have to keep track of those. It's different from everyone. I've seen some other people's Coinbase accounts. They have way higher limits than I do. Some of them have not as high limits as I do. So it's all about your personal finances.
Can you guys see my screen? I got the website pulled up if anybody wants to look at it.
So, Cory, what we're seeing right now, unfortunately, is just your logo. I don't see your screen.
Okay, let me try this again.
I see blackness. I'm worried.
Okay.
There's his face. So as Cory brings that up, Shane is correct. Coinbase is one of the easiest ways, fastest ways to jump in on it. And Alan says, show already canceled? I hope not. Cory's just got a black screen. But either way, Coinbase is one of the easiest ways to jump in. You do have to make an initial purchase. I think my initial, matter of fact, Cory, I'm going to go ahead and let him show off Coinbase. It looks like he finally got his screen up.
Yeah, I can't get rid of this crap on the bottom. It is not wanting to go away for some reason. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. You got your buy and sell, your accounts here, then tools, merchants. You won't have to worry about most of this stuff unless you're actually going to try to sell stuff. Now, I am trying to sell my card game that I invented, and right now it's on sale. Only $15 you buy with Bitcoin. You know,
no shameless plugs.
Yeah.
So, Cory, tell us right there what we're looking at. Try to explain to everybody, for the first-time viewers who have never seen Bitcoin, what it might be.
All right, so you can see here, this is a 1 month view, and over this 1 month is going up 140%. And you can kind of drag along here and see its ups and downs. Like, I've had a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I'm gonna get back in when it gets at $10,000. You know, I'm gonna buy it when it gets to $7,000. Well, if you go way back here to the beginning of December, it was $10,000, but it hasn't ever dropped below $10,000 ever since then. It just keeps going up. I had this dip here at right here at 14,000, and that's when I bought it. I bought it right here. So, you know, if you ever want to buy Bitcoin, buy it after I buy it, because it always goes down the next day. Right? Because I bought it right here, and then the next day it was right here, and I was like, I'm going to buy some more of it. So then I bought some more of it, and it went down to here. But it's going back up a little bit, so you know, it's whatever. I'm still holding Bitcoin, and I'll just keep holding it. And eventually, it's going to be $100,000, and I won't give a shit that I bought it at 16,000 or whatever.
Well, the interesting thing to see about that graph there, Cory can, well, I guess my face is going to take over it. But the interesting thing to see about that graph is where Cory was showing how the chart went down there around 13,000. That's actually a correction in the market, and that's actually a good thing. That's kind of what we want to see to show that Bitcoin is showing stability at the new rate. And I'll show a more technical chart here in a little bit to give you a little more understanding of what's going on there.
All right, cool. So I actually just realized I could control the camera as it went, so I tried to catch that as he was talking. So yeah, hopefully we can get that. This is the first time, so I apologize. It's been a while since I've done broadcasting like this. But yes, definitely awesome. So we now know what Bitcoin is. We now know what Coinbase is. We now know how to get into the cryptocurrency game. Other than Bitcoin, Cory, you actually had Coinbase up, and you had some other coins on there. What other coins are there? AKA
All right, so right now,
altcoins.
Coin market cap.
yeah. So there's Ethereum right here. You can see this. This is another one. It's a little bit. It's a lot newer than Bitcoin. It's only been around. You can see here since 2015. And you know, you look at it, and it was trading around like it got way down here. You know, like in the 49 cents. Now it's all the way up to 731. We got this huge spike that's going on now. Another cool thing about Ethereum is it had a split back in like February of last year, or was it this year? I can't remember. But there's Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Ethereum is the only one that's sold here, and this is how much this one is. Ethereum Classic is a lot cheaper than this, but they changed the coding on that, and they also did that with Bitcoin. You'll see Bitcoin Cash coming up on here next year, as well as some other coins, and they call what those are called are forks. But there's other coins that just do their own thing, and the thing about Bitcoin and Litecoin is those are currencies. Those are just to be used for paying for things, you know, and the same thing for like Dogecoin. Some of them are just currencies to pay people here and there. Ethereum, while you can pay people with that, it's a whole network. Like people build apps on top of the Ethereum network, and what they'll do is they pay these Ethereum tokens in order to access that decentralized network. But these three here are just the few that Coinbase has, and they're going to be introducing more next year. But if you go over here to cryptocurrency market, the coinmarketcap.com, you can see tons and tons and tons of them. There, I think there's something like 800 different cryptocurrencies on here now. Oh no, there's 1,355 now. It's ridiculous. There's more and more every day. Just like a couple months ago, there was like 700 or something. But this is a good spot to do some research, and you'll see all your different coins here. You can see the price of the change. Now, this is in the US dollars, and you can go on here and you can change it, and you look at it versus Bitcoin, because everything really, once you get into the other cryptocurrencies, not really Ethereum and Litecoin pretty much, because you got Coinbase. But if you get into an exchange or something like that and you want to get some of these other coins, they're all going to be versus Bitcoin. Just about. There are some that are versus Ethereum and Litecoin, since those are the other two big coins. But mostly it's going to be versus Bitcoin.
All right, so that's a great place to get started at. Honestly, I've been using it myself. They have an app both for iOS and Android. You can go through and use those. You can go through and see every single thing. It's just like looking at the stock market, like a stock market ticker. I use CoinCap Market more for live view, and Coinbase, I think, is a little bit delayed because it's a whole other trading platform. Shane, I think you said you wanted to share a screen with us. Are you still good with that, or?
Yeah, sure. The interesting thing about Coinbase, though, is you said it was a different exchange. It is an exchange, but the problem with Coinbase and why it's kind of slow is the fact that they're taking on so many new people right now. Whenever Bitcoin started running up to 14,000, everyone said, hey, we should get on the train now. So everyone flooded their website with new accounts. They're not built for that. They basically have seen exponential growth within such a short amount of time that they can't keep up. And they're not hiding it. They're letting people know they have problems, and they're working to correct that. Basically, the website I wanted to show was CoinMarketCap. The cool thing about CoinMarketCap is if you look at, is it showing?
Yeah, you're showing. We can see your screen. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you look at back to where Cory was at, this is the overall market of Bitcoins, or of coins, Bitcoin and altcoins. If you click on Bitcoin, you can go into it, and just like Bitcoin with every other coin out there, you can see whenever the chart finally loads, you can see what it's done in its history. You can actually scale in or zoom in and you can see what the price is versus the price in USD versus the price of, or excuse me, the market cap. You can see here under markets where you can trade or buy Bitcoin. The problem though is that if you go to one of these websites like Bitfinex, you're going to be using USD Tether, not actually USD. That's kind of a big deal. So if you want to trade coins, this is where you're going to kind of find that information. Social, you can see a lot of different tweets and information about what people are blasting out. A lot of it could be considered fake news, but it is what it is. So this is a very, very, very powerful chart or powerful tool for you if you are trading anything, because you can go here and get the like the 7-day history if you want back on the main page, if it'll go back to it. So this is in 7 days here. This is what it's done. So if you look, for example, let's compare these to Bitcoin. You can see that everything's moving up with Bitcoin right now. Well, IOTA's not, but IOTA's, never mind.
I don't want to talk about IOTA. I made my purchase. I'm annoyed.
Let's not talk about it. So you can see Waves here. Waves is kind of taking a dip versus what Bitcoin's doing. So
look at EOS. Look at EOS.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Bitcoin Cash. Jerk.
I bought $20 worth of EOS back in September, and my EOS now is worth $271 off of $20.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bitcoin should have bought it yesterday.
Yeah,
that's right.
If you guys take a look at Cory's lower third, you'll see. I think that's what his says. Let's take a look at it. Yep. Should have bought it yesterday. Oh, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, Cory, in between your first and last name, we're seeing something here. Can you tell us a little bit about that real quick? Did we lose him?
Yes. Cory's gone.
Oh, man, we lost him. So he froze up. So anyway, so we now know that there is more than just Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin is the most talked about, the most big thing in the news. We know what that is. We have an idea of how to go through and get it. This is, again, very high level, high overview. This is just our first video. We wanted to introduce everybody and introduce them to what it is. So now, and Shane, you actually talked about this a little bit earlier and mentioned this. I specifically more am mining, and to be honest with you, I'm actually shying away from mining. So let's talk about mining and how mining is the other half of what cryptocurrency is. So basically mining in a general term, Shane, what do you think your best description of mining is?
To me, mining is more of like, it's when you're using hardware to do computations to create this chunk of information, this large chunk of information. And after you run a certain amount of, or a certain type of code so many times, you'll make that information. The problem with it is that it's really, really intensive on your devices. So when you hear people talk about mining Bitcoin, if they say that they're doing it on their home computer, they're either lying to you or they're spending a lot in power. And that's my personal preference on it. I mean, some people may be getting away with it. Some people could be offsetting their power, but if you're not doing something like using a solar farm or anything like that, you're probably spending a lot in power.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Cory, because Cory actually has a little bit of information about this as well, because Cory also mines like I do. I think you actually mine more than I do, because I particularly only mine on Ethereum, but I'll go into that. So Cory, what you've been doing with mining? And actually, before you answer that question, tell us what your shorthand answer of what mining is.
So mining, basically, it's you're helping run the network. You're processing everybody's transactions. You got people wanting to send money from point A to point B. Well, it doesn't work like Visa. Like Visa, you swipe something, it goes to some servers in Arizona, and then it goes off to wherever it's supposed to go. So with Bitcoin and other decentralized coins, you send a transaction to the blockchain, and then the blockchain goes out to, it goes everywhere to all these different miners and nodes and stuff, and all of those nodes and miners will it will verify the transactions and send them out everywhere, because every transaction that's ever happened on Bitcoin network is still on the Bitcoin network. Like, you can go back and see the very first transaction. You can go on there and you can see how much each wallet is holding, and every transaction, it's not anonymous like everybody thinks it is. But that doesn't have anything to do with mining so much. But so the miners, what they're doing is they're the ones processing all these transactions, and they can only do like 7 transactions per second. So they're trying to get that fixed right now, and they're going to do with the Lightning Network, and hopefully fix that and bring down the price of mining costs, because whenever you send a transaction right now, it can be anywhere between like $2 and like $12, which is kind of ridiculous. If you want to send 25 cents to somebody, you might have to pay $12 to send it.
It's like going to a gas station and having to pay more than $5 to cover the cost. Or so you have to, the minimum purchase is $5 if they're not, if you're using a credit card.
Yeah, that doesn't really have much to do with mining, but that's you kind of got to know a little bit about that in order to know what the mining is for. But it's going to do what your computer's doing is all these transactions and computations and stuff, and it's doing all this math in the background. And your computer hates you, and it sets on fire because it's running. You're trying to do all this stuff with GPU, and Bitcoin is far past the GPU mining stage. They have specialized mining rigs called ASIC miners, and if you really want to get into mining, you have to buy one of those. And if you buy a cheap one, you're just going to end up wasting your money on electricity. So I recommend you spending like $3,000 to $5,000 on one of those miners if you get one. You can do some research to try to find the one that you want to go with, but I don't recommend mining Bitcoin. I mean, you can do it if you feel like it, but it's not really worth it. If you want to just get Bitcoin, you're better off just buying it, or go through some sort of beer money site and try to earn it, because that's what I've been doing mostly. Like, a lot of the money that I have in Bitcoin, I might have bought half of it, but the other half I earned online by doing like surveys and watching videos and stuff like that. But I am mining, and what you can mine is something that is specifically made to mine like CPU. So like XMR, Monero, it's more of a you can mine that with GPU and CPU only. It's made to where it can't be mined miner. So it makes it better for the little guys if they're wanting to try to mine with their computers. Granted, you're not going to get a whole lot. Like, I'm getting 100 hashes per second for my old laptop, and I've been mining with it since about June, and I've mined 0.3 of a coin at that point. So in 6 months, I mined 0.3 of a coin. Mind you, when I started mining it, it was $50, and I was like, I might as well just give up. But now it hit the $300 mark. So, that 6 months has earned me $100. Awesome. And the thing about mining as well is, if you do get into it, you're going to want to join a pool. You're not going to want to do it by yourself, because then you're just going to be trying to get lucky and hope that you get one of those blocks. And it's not very likely you'll get a block on your own, because you'll see one of those, like, I forget what company it is, but there's some company that has a router that you can buy. It's called a lottery router. And what it does is it mines Bitcoins through this lottery router. But if you get it, you get 25 Bitcoin. But the likelihood of that is you might as well just play the actual lottery and try to win like millions of dollars. It's about the same likelihood. But don't mine.
Shane,
that's the moral of the story is, don't mine Bitcoin, mine something else.
Shane,
like Ethereum, like Rusty.
I'm about to get to that, but Shane, you were laughing over in the corner with you have anything?
I would love to see Cory's power usage, but I don't think he could find out.
So I have to cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
So I am hardware mining and cloud mining. So I am doing a little bit of Radeon RX 580 with the XMX or XMR. I forget. It's the Best Buy version of whatever. It was like $300 when I bought it. It's now down to $270. I actually went back to Best Buy a few weeks ago today. I want my $30 back. So I got my $30 back. So basically $270 got me in, and it's an 8 GB card that is meant more for gaming specifically, because that's what mining is doing. Is that both of these guys said it very well. But for those of you watching this video, they're like, what did they just talk about? Basically, as a general, mining is the idea that there are transactions, much like when you swipe a card at a store, it goes out to Visa and it comes back, and you have to go through and wait on that. That's what we're doing. We're running the transactions on our network versus Visa or MasterCard. So you're basically the one doing all those computations on the back end. That's basically, you're running the public checkbook that is the blockchain. So I'm mining hardware with my RX 580. I'm getting roughly about $17 for about 7 to 10 days worth of work, somewhere in there, because I'm getting on average about $1.25 to $1.50 a day. So I'll get that money back without taking in the account of electricity. I'm not going to tell you why I'm not paying for electricity. I just got really lucky, and I'm not paying for electricity, so I don't have to take that into account. So if you are going to hardware mine, please remember you do have to take electricity into your factoring, because I'll get my money back in less than a year, whereas you would probably take a little bit longer depending on the coin that you're mining and the difficulty that you're mining at, whether you're doing, because I can actually configure mine somewhere between supposedly all the way up to like 28, 29 mega hashes per second, but I'm currently only getting like 18 to 22, which is painful, but either way, neither here nor there. The other thing that you can do is cloud mining. Now, we've been doing cloud mining, and I'm glad that Cory actually has his screen up. I'm going to click over. Cory, can you go back to that? I'm going to talk about Genesis mining. I think that's what you have up.
Well, I had this is where I was mining my Monero, and I was going to show you what it looked like here, but you can see my hash rate, and these are the total hashes done, and that's like I haven't even got to the 0.3, but when I get to the 0.3, I actually get a payout. They don't even pay you until you get to that. So,
and that's the fun thing about cloud mining is there's different levels at which your transaction can be cashed out at. Genesis mining is really the only one that I knew about outside of regular hardware mining. So I'm on the Genesis mining thing. I didn't even know about that one particularly. What else are you mining, Cory, that's cloud mining?
Well, this isn't cloud mining. This is actually my hardware mining. This is just what I'm using to watch over it. Like I have a computer that's mining somewhere. I'm not saying where, but it's not using my electricity. But it's been running continuously.
Like I said, Cory can't find his power bill.
But so you got your Genesis cloud mining. You can't really do any cloud mining through Genesis right now because they've sold all their contracts unless you want to mine Monero, which is still pretty good. But there's I think there's Hashflare. Hashflare is like another one that's pretty good. But don't just go with any kind of cloud mining. There's a lot of cloud mining scams out there, and if you're going to get into anything Bitcoin related that we haven't talked about on here, or anything that looks sketchy, because if it looks sketchy, it's probably sketchy. You probably don't want to mess with it.
Probably going to steal your money.
You can go to badbitcoin.org is a great site to go to do some research on that. But just talking about the cloud mining, you got I got 0.85 terahashes and 1 mega hash of Ether going on right now. And you can go in here and you can change your mining allocations around. So I just switched mine around a little bit today. I'm doing 30% BTC, 35, and it tells you how much terahashes you're putting toward that. And then you can go in here and you can see all your different payouts, and that you don't get paid every day unless you hit a certain mark. but you can see, like, you can view the transaction here whenever they pay out. So you can see that I made this much Z hash, and it tells you like that's the actual amount of Z hash. So in order to figure out how much it is, you'd have to do a like a little bit of calculation here. What is Zcash at right now? What, 325 or something?
1 second.
Yeah, see if you can pull that up, Shane. I'm sorry. I had somebody sending me a message asking me that the video that they're seeing is not showing us live, but I do show that we have 4 people watching currently, so I'm a little beside myself. I apologize.
I'm seeing 4 people also.
Yeah. All right, Cory. Zcash, I think, is currently at 380 something. Oh, wow. It went up even higher.
468. So 468 times that. And so that means I got paid 15 cents. That's that transaction right here. And, you know, I wasn't putting a whole lot of hash power in that. You know, I'd put more in it if I wanted to, but you can see I had a lot more going into my Litecoin. Litecoin's what, like 350 something right now or something. Well, 313, I think, was what it was last time. So I got paid $1.78 that day, and I get these payments like every day. So it's pretty nice. And this is all off of like about $100 that I sent them. Of course, you're not going to see that anymore. Wait,
All right, so Shane and I both just happened to notice this while you were doing that, Cory. We did have a question from Hoy Ha, and I apologize if I'm ruining your name. He said, "Are you guys gonna go over some coins later?" Absolutely. I mean, we don't have to talk about Bitcoin just in a general. If you have a question in particular, absolutely, we'll be more than glad to talk about it. We just happen to be talking about the coins that we have currently. Like I have he was showing his screen there through his Genesis mining, Zcash, and other things. So if you had a coin particularly, be more than glad to just leave comments there on the side. But I'm going to go back to Cory's screen, and he just piped in, says, "I have a large holding of XVG and MCO. I'd like to know what you guys think about them." Cory or Shane, whichever one wants to pipe in first. XVG or MCO?
Give me 1 second.
I don't really know about either one of those. I'm familiar with them.
Oh,
See,
wow.
you said
Verge is actually doing pretty good. Nice old spot.
Yeah, Verge.
Let me share my screen to show you guys what I'm looking at.
Oh, Shane's got some stuff. Let's see what Shane can pop up with. Oh, that you got to be faster than that, Shane. I got your happy picture. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So this is the chart that this is the website that I use for viewing candlesticks for charts. So let's look at this on the month scale. Okay. So all right. So let's do daily scale. So we can see that it's been around since March, February. Actually, it's doing pretty good. It's still pretty early on though. I can't really give any recommendations as to what it's going to do, but if you're holding, you're probably pretty happy right now. The reason why I would hold off on giving any predictions about this is because it is such a new coin. If you look, let's look at FCT. So if we look at this coin here.
Chat?
Oh, Cory, I apologize. For those of you watching, you're watching the chat is here on the left-hand side. Cory, I shared this with you in an internal hangout. Basically, the public YouTube chat link. So again, if you have questions, it's right here on the side. You should be able to ask them. But Shane, I'm going to go back to your screen, and while I message Cory separately on that.
Okay. All right. So looking at this chart, like this is another newer coin. You can see that there's a lot of large spikes in it. So if I'm looking at what was it, XVG. So this is versus Bitcoin here. It looks like it depends on how you're looking at it. If you bought it with USD, you're probably pretty happy.
Found it.
If you bought it with Bitcoin, it looks like it's trailing down. A lot of these newer coins that come out will do a nice big pump a couple months in, and then it'll settle out down to where it's gonna ride for a bit. That's what I was showing you with FCT. It did a lot of large pumps, but eventually it's going to settle out. That wasn't the best example.
So Shane, while you've got that up, this is actually a great point to point out. Shane's been really good about telling me about candlesticks and stuff like that. Can you give us a little bit of idea for candlesticks, what they are, and what to look for when you're looking at things like XVG and MCO?
Well, I'm not going to share all of my secrets just yet because we're gonna get into charts and stuff at some point. I'll show you how to set up a chart like this and look at TradingView, and I'll show you some indicators here. These charts can get messy. Let's just cut some indicators on. So these are just moving averages of what's going on. You've got your volume down here. We'll get into this as time goes on, but each candlestick here represents a day. So you can change the time frame from a day to, let's say, an hour. And you'll see that a lot more candles form. So you're just looking at one candlestick represents 1 hour right now. So if we go back to the day, all right, you've got, let's look at this one here. So you know that based off this candle, this is where it opened up. This is where this candle opened up and started. And where it's at right now, the price has dropped. You see it just dropped again. So on this hour, or on this day, excuse me, this is the lowest price that it sold for. This here is the highest price that it sold for. And based off of what these tails versus candles do, you can kind of predict the future almost. It's not perfect, it's not 100% accurate, but over time you can get to where you can recognize trends. We'll cut these back off, but these charts can get messy really quick. There's a lot of good research out there. A lot of people who have spent a lot of time going over moving averages, EMAs, MAs, volume versus MACD. These are all kind of buzzwords that you can use to search if you want to learn more about it right now. Eventually, we'll get into it, just not today.
Go ahead, Cory.
I looked at on those two coins while you were talking there. XVG is really similar to XMR. It's another one of those coins where you can be more anonymous, because there are some coins out there that are like that, and I think those are going to be really big. Monero is great because if you look at the charts on that one, like, it's been steadily rising, and there hasn't been any like huge spikes so much, but it's been like steadily, 5% here. It might hold off, go up and down a little bit, and then you'll gain another 5%. And then this Monaco that he mentioned is pretty interesting. I hadn't really looked at it much, but it looks like it's a debit card, and you'll be able to trade with that. I haven't really looked into that, but I'm gonna have to look into that some more. I'm sort of getting into 10x, which is going to be doing the same thing, and I don't know how this one works, this Monaco, but the way 10x is going to work is if you hold the 10x coins or tokens, whenever someone makes a transaction with a 10x card, then part of the fees that they'll pay to process that transaction are actually split up over the whole network, and anybody that holds those coins will get a percentage of that back. And I think that's pretty nice, because that's a way you can earn coins without having to mine, to kind of go back to the mining thing, because there's more ways to earn than just mining, because there's staking and other things like that, and then 10x has got their thing here where you can actually earn by spending. You earn back some coin by spending your own coin.
So real quick, we have two last final questions, the outro question, and then we also have the second to last question. So we're going to start winding it down because we're reaching the 1 hour mark. how do I trade my Bitcoin for other coins? What do I have to do? How do I go about once I have a Bitcoin? I've purchased Bitcoin on Coinbase. I've gotten in. What do I do now? Who wants to jump in on that one? Cory or Shane, who wants to jump in?
Well, I've got another graph if you want to see it.
Well, let's go to Shane with his screenshots. Let's go for it.
Okay, so this is Poloniex. This is an exchange that you can use. So there's a lot of differences in exchanges. The big difference being the amount of or the type of coins that you can trade on a certain exchange. If you look at the coin we were just looking at, this one is on Bittrex, but it's not on Poloniex. So I personally haven't taken a look at it because I use Poloniex for my trading right now. So with Poloniex, you can look at all these different coins versus Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, and USDT. each different little row here represents a different coin that you can trade against. I personally trade Bitcoin to altcoins. I don't trade to USDT or USD. I just trade to Bitcoin. My goal basically is to gain my overall Bitcoin total, not my USD total. So if I finish a trade, I may not gain as much Bitcoin, or I may not gain as much USD because Bitcoin could be low, but when Bitcoin goes on a spike, my overall account balance goes up. So that's kind of, we've had our discussions about that, Rusty, you and I, actually all three of us, because we think about it differently. You guys want a USD total, whereas I want Bitcoin. And we struggle with that every day because we're always talking about like, oh, Litecoin's running up. Well, it's not really running up for me. So we have to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. But with this Poloniex here, let's say Bitcoin to Ethereum, for example. You can see the chart here. We can go to 30-minute candlesticks. So each candlestick represents a 30-minute block of time whenever it loads. There we go. And we can zoom out let's go 2 weeks. So you can see here what Ethereum versus Bitcoin is doing right now. And it's actually on a pretty nice little run. If you bought Ethereum here, you're pretty happy. If you bought Ethereum here, you're not very happy yet, because Ethereum could still keep going up. So you've got your basic interface here. You buy your Ethereum. So I've got 0.12 Bitcoin sitting here. So I click 0.12. This is how much Ethereum I can buy. And then at the same time, I could also sell that Ethereum over here. And you've got all your buy orders and sell orders. So you can see people are selling it for 0.0447. They're buying it for 0.4407. So people are making money. Market depth, trade history, and your open orders. I actually have a sell order on Ethereum right now that's pretty aggressive, but I'm holding Ethereum for a long-term gain right now.
Absolutely.
Margin trading. I don't margin trade. If you know about margin trading, that's awesome. Teach me. I personally don't do it because you can actually set your account into the negative. So that you have to be careful with. On here, you can also lend out different coins so that other people can make loans or make trades. You'll get back a certain percentage, and they'll take what's left over. You can see your trade history. So my trade history here, a couple of decent trades. Your open orders. So if you're selling anything, your open orders, you can see all of your different things you have selling right now. But this is an easy way to get into it. You are going to have to provide the information about who you are. They're going to want to know like a lot of personal information because you're going to have to report this on your taxes. They will give you all that information at the end of the year. Deposits and withdrawals.
So real quick, I wanted to highlight Hoy's comment here in the YouTube chat room. He actually said, I think when the government gets more involved with crypto, there's going to be more demand for decentralized exchanges. So Cory, comment on that if you want, and then also maybe what exactly exchange you might use or what exchanges are particularly your thoughts.
Sorry, my internet's being a piece of crap, and it kicked me off, and now I'm back. So, did you say anything to me after Shane started talking about candlesticks?
Yeah. So I apologize. So we had a comment come in from Hoy. He said, I don't want to do the Trump thing. I don't even want to talk about that. I think that when the government gets more involved with crypto, there's going to be more demand for decentralized exchanges.
Core's gone.
So, what are your thoughts on that? And tell us how do you exchange Bitcoin?
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back now. But I think decentralized exchanges are great, and we're going to start seeing more and more. And why not decentralize them? I mean, we're buying decentralized coins. Why not buy them from a decentralized market? Also, it makes it a lot harder to hack. Like if anybody, like the whole Mount Gox thing that happened a long time, or I think it's pronounced something different. But some of these other exchanges, like they've been hacked in the past, and that's why people say not to leave your money on an exchange. And if it's a decentralized exchange, that means they're going to have to go through the entire network of computers and hack all of those computers. It wouldn't just be a series of computers like hanging out in Arizona or whatever, because like one person could go in there and like just like blow it up, and then all these coins are just gone, they're missing. But with the decentralized, you can't get rid of them. It makes it too hard to hack. Now the only way it's going to get hacked maybe is if they come up with like the supercomputer, quantum computing. And so people are kind of worried about it, if quantum computing will be able to hack the whole Bitcoin network. But until they come up with some proof, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
So, just answer real quick. Make your answer short because we got to get to our last question. What exchanges do you use? Shane showed us Polynex, and Hoy said Polynex seems to be a much better GUI friendly than Bitrex. So, what exchange do you use, Cory?
Poloniex gets a lot of flack. I use HitBTC more right now. But it also gets a little bit of flack. The only reason I'm using that is because they trade BitConnect tokens, and that's mostly what I've been funding that with. If you want to get started and try to figure out how to trade, I would suggest GDAX, because you're going to have to get in through Coinbase anyways, and you can go in there and you can trade GDAX versus USD, or you can trade Bitcoin versus USD, Ethereum versus USD, and LTC versus USD. And I think that'll get you a grasp on how all the trading works. And then once you get the hang of it, then you can get into some other trading versus BTC versus LTC, or you go into another one of these other exchanges and get another coin that's all going to be versus BTC. And I'd recommend starting out with maybe $100. I think $75 is like the minimum on GDAX, but you can transfer from GDAX to Coinbase for free. So that's another little bit of a bonus there. So that's a nice thing as well.
So Shane, before we go to our last question, looks like you got a screenshot up. Tell us what we're looking at here. This looks like GDAX here. Do you want to do a quick explanation?
Yeah, no, this is just GDAX. This is the trading platform for Coinbase. I personally don't use it. I think I have an account, but I have not started using it. I've been learning Polo. And just to refute Cory's comment about Polo, the nice thing about Polo is the fact that all the coins on Polo are good, from what I've seen. When you start getting into HitBC, you get a bunch of strangers, and things can get weird.
Do they have pot coins on Polo?
Pot coins on Polo. Get off the gas.
That's not a good coin. Who gives a shit about pot coin?
All right. I'm gonna cut you guys off there. We're running into right at about an hour, so we're gonna make this last question quick and short. So we kind of made this in the run sheet. What is the future, and where are we heading with these videos? I think we kind of explained this earlier in our first question when we made our introductions. But we want to kind of get an idea of what you guys are doing. and what you guys are watching and what you guys want to talk about. Hoy, we appreciate you jumping in tonight. Potcoin's been mooning today, apparently. XD smiley face there. But anyway, we want to kind of talk about where we're going with these videos, what our plans are. So I'm going to hand this one off to Cory first and let Cory start since he was the last one to jump in, and maybe his internet might cut out before he gets a chance to answer. So I'm going to let Cory go first.
Well, I just want to educate people, so they don't get burned on something out there that's a scam or something, And I've actually been burnt by some scams out there. I did Bit Petite. Everybody said it was a scam, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I mean, I put $30 in there. The website went down. It hasn't come back up. Fingers crossed, maybe it'll come back one of these days, but it's not. So I've lost that $30, but I'm not worried about it. A lot of people say like BitConnect is a scam. There's a lot of people online making tons of money with that. So I'm going along with that, and I'm seeing what I can do. Like I just made $1,000 loan with them, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll show you guys like what I'm doing with that. I'm trying to give people tips on how to make some money with this, and it's all new. Like even though it's been out since 2009, it's still in its infancy, and there's still a lot to learn from it. And we're surprised every day by how the market goes. And I just kind of want to bring that out and let everybody know and keep everybody up to date on everything.
Absolutely. Good answer. So Shane, give us your, I think Cory was about less than 2 minutes, maybe 3. Give us your 2 minute as he throws out his Dogecoin there, or whatever that was.
Yeah, that was
Shane,
Dogecoin, physical Dogecoin.
Shane, go ahead and give us your answer. Where are we headed to the future with these videos? What are we wanting to get from this?
So overall, my goal is to grow a community. My goal is to have a group of people that talk about the same thing, that look at the same thing, that have fun doing the same thing that I'm doing. Of course, I want to make millions. Of course, I want to be rich and drive fast cars and have big houses and stuff. But overall, to me, it's about finding other people who are interested in what I'm doing. I'll give out nuggets here and there of what I think is going to happen along the way. If you choose to take them or not, it's completely up to you. But I'll do my best to provide people with as much accurate information as I can. Of course, it's not going to be soon because I don't know everything. I don't want to put people's money at risk. But if you want to follow something that I do, jump on board. And like Cory said, we do have BitConnect stuff that I've got a little bit more invested than Cory has, and we're making some money with it. And that's a side project. That's just some investing that I'm doing that you'll have to learn for yourself. But overall, community, knowledge, learning, having fun, cutting up, having a good time.
Absolutely. Wonderful answers, both of my guests this evening. Again, my name is Rusty G. I'm going to start wrapping up and let you guys know we don't have a website yet. We don't have a Twitter handle. We have nothing. We just literally were like, hey, guys, let's do a video and let's talk about this and let's get people involved. We've got absolutely nothing. Now, individually, we all have a little bit of something. So I'm going to start off. I'll let Cory, or actually, I'll hand it off to Cory because he's already got his on his lower third. Cory, if anybody wants to talk to you or add you or talk to you about any of this stuff that we talked about tonight, how do we reach out to you?
You can find me anywhere on the web, Corny Cory, spelled just like it is on the screen. You do a Google search, you'll find that. You'll find me there. I'll talk to you about it. I'll talk to you about anything, even like what I'm wearing.
Absolutely crazy. So Shane, moving on to you. Shane, how do we go about finding you, sir?
I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. I wasn't prepared for this question because I'm just getting back into social media. I took a little sabbatical for a bit, so I'll have that prepared for next time. But Robocop is pretty much everywhere. If you see it, that's probably me.
Are you going to share our Discord link in the?
Yes, we will have a Discord link in the video when we're done.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So that totally answers my question. Who was in that other Discord channel? I didn't know that was you, Shane. I kept looking for your name, and I was like, I don't know who this is talking to me. But either way, so my name is Rusty G. I'm pretty much everything that you see there on Twitter at Rusty G, on Instagram Rusty G, Facebook.com/Rusty Greer. and Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. It's google.com/plus Rusty Career 1. You can find me there. We will start planning these out a little bit more in the future so that we can have a set time, a set date tonight. We just kind of threw this together to see if there was going to be any interest about Bitcoin. It looks like we've got at least Cory jumped in, and his latest comment was never too late to jump into crypto, and I think he's absolutely correct. It's never too late. But jump in now, because you don't want to be like Cory, where your tagline is you should have bought yesterday. You need to buy in now. That's going to be it for us tonight, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday evening. It's a little bit 5 minutes past the hour, or past our hour, and I went a little bit long, but hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll let you know soon. Maybe we might have a website and Twitter handle that all three of us can use, and a website that we all three can use and share out. So
Discord.
Any last words, guys, before we get out of here?
Discord it up.
Discord it up, he says. Cory, anything else?
Litecoin's undervalued. EOS is going to take over Ethereum. Ethereum's going to be big next year. So is Dash. Those two are going to explode. Just watch.
And with that, you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you later.